Radosław Sikorski, Poland's former foreign affairs and defense minister, joins us now. Hi, hello, and welcome. But my first question is, how did the NATO bloc allow missiles to fall? Because the bloc itself says that the monitoring system on the border detected the flying rockets on the territory of Poland.
Sure. I don't think Ukraine can protect all of its territory. You are quite effectively protecting major population centers. I don't think there is a country in NATO or in the world, in fact, that can protect its entire territory. And anti-aircraft and anti-missile defenses are an Achilles heel in Poland, actually. We are protecting the Rzeszów hub, where the majority of Western assistance for Ukraine is going through.
Yep.
But it's physically impossible to protect your every farm and every village in any country.
Poland agreed to give Ukrainian experts access for investigation of the tragic accident in Przewodów. Let's assume this is Ukrainian anti-missile rockets that was launched to catch the Russian one. What are the consequences of this?
This is what we are assuming in Poland. You can't really argue with AWACS and with the Polish radars that tracked the Russian strike against Ukraine and Ukrainian efforts to defend themselves. And if an old Soviet-made anti-missile or anti-aircraft missiles misfired or its mechanism, its self-destruct mechanism didn't work properly, that is not the fault of Ukraine. There is consensus in NATO and here in Poland that the responsible party for what happened in Poland is Russia. It's Russia that is trying to pound Ukraine into submission. It's Russia that's committing war crimes by hitting civilian targets in Ukraine. It's Russia that is trying to cause a wave of refugees by denying Ukraine electricity and heat at the beginning of winter. You have the right to defend yourself. And if your self-defense forces interceptor misfunctioned, we grieve for our citizens, obviously, but we don't blame you. And there should be no compunction between friends and allies to admit the facts. You know, this is the difference between us in the Western civilization and those in autocracies. We base our policy on facts, not on fictions. And if the facts are a little difficult to explain, but defend themselves, as they do in this case, you don't need to stick to a version that is not credible. Democrats and allies tell each other the truth even when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, but talking about the facts, why then the President Zelensky keeps denying that that was a Ukrainian missile?
Look, I get it. In a war situation, you pose hypotheses, working hypotheses. Some of the time they get confirmed, and some of the time they disproved by additional evidence. I understand that President Zelensky today is already changing or modifying his position. He was probably told by your air defense forces what they thought was the case. It's, you know, among serious people, it is not a dishonor to change your view in the light of additional evidence.
So you understand such a reaction and such a position of the Ukrainian president, right?
Not only do I understand, I sympathize. For you, Putin is devil incarnate. This is a tyrant, a thief, and a war criminal. And it's perfectly natural for you to think that whatever evil happens in Ukraine or around Ukraine, Putin must be to blame. And Putin is to blame because he launched this barrage of missiles against Ukraine against which you are trying to defend yourself. And if one of your Soviet missiles, doesn't self-destruct in time, it's still Putin who is to blame. We understand the emotions. It's just that we need to stick to the actuality, to the facts.
I got another question. Do you think that such a reaction of the West can possibly play along Russian propaganda? Because we know the fact that Kremlin keeps stating that Ukrainian weapons given by the Western countries end up on the black markets and used by terrorists, so-called, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, of course they do that. And that's why it's not sensible to overinterpret the evidence or jump to conclusions, which is why I'm glad that President Zelensky has now modified his position, because this is how we are different from the Russians. We tell our people and our allies the truth, and they lie. Their system is based on thievery and lies. Our system is based on trust and truth-telling and credibility vis-a-vis your own people and your allies is a very precious commodity, and it should be maintained.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. That was Radosław Sikorski, Poland's former Foreign Affairs and Defense Minister. Thank you. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Latest news, trends, and analytics on all about Ukraine. Like, share, and subscribe. Any questions, proposals, and comments, contact us via email.